Welcome, welcome everyone. So lovely to see all your names and all here. And Jean-Michel, so lovely to see your face. We'll see everyone's faces later. And Jean's up there too. So today is day 31. So welcome. After day 31, there'll be 32 and 33 next week, and then graduation. Graduation will be where we automatically transform into ashram series C and D. And then you'll automatically go on to becoming yogis.
Wow.
May already be yogis, I don't know. But of course, your path has been that we meditate together here collectively online, which is absolutely tremendously deep and wonderful. We do our meditation at home ourselves and see where we are. Are we thinking or are we meditating? And then the other path, which may have been difficult so far, but I'm sure the pathway will open up and it'll be super easy, is that we find some real people to meditate with. And that could be just another realized soul, or it can be where Jenny is right now in Burwood Ashram, where lots and lots of people fill that space, and we'll have a good look how big it is soon. And you have this meditation that is truly awesome together. Or it could be even further that you meet up for a national seminar with all the people of your country, or you meet up internationally with people from all over the world, like all of us together in Italy. And it's interesting that we mention Italy because we have someone here tonight with Jenny And Jenny will introduce her shortly, who's come all the way from Italy, not far from Milan, and which is also not far from Cabela, where Shri Mataji gave us this wonderful castle and meditation space where people from all over the world can meet and meditate together. But that's another story. In the meantime, we have tonight a fabulous, awesomely interesting program on recognition equals puja. So Jenny's going to tell us some interesting things about that shortly. Next week, we have some extra chakras to talk about, all in the space of only 1 hour, which is a miracle. And then we have the last session for this series on creation. So that's another one to blow our minds.
What a beautiful presentation, Lynn. It's amazing. Like I want to become a yogi for sure.
Yes, me too.
It was like a river. Lynn, you took us to so many places in that talk.
Unbelievable. So beautiful.
You're very kind.
So beautiful. I want to go there.
Yeah. So yes, today we are in a real ashram. Perhaps many of you have not been in an ashram. This is Burwood Ashram, and very soon we will turn around the camera so you can see where we meditate. But this is actually a very special place. Shri Mataji has been here many, many times. Since 1981, I think was when she first came here. Maybe Jean-Michel was there. Perhaps Lynn was there at that time. And she has stayed here many times as well. She has her own room. And the last time that she came was in 2007. So it's certainly, if you are in Sydney, or even if you are traveling through Sydney, please come and visit us. We would love you to. And you will very much enjoy the vibrations, because with Shri Mataji having been here, the vibrations are very special. But I did want to invite someone onto the screen. She's being a bit shy, but we're going to get her on. Here she is.
There she is, all the way from Italy.
This is Antonella from Italy. She arrived 2 days ago.
What a beautiful name, Antonella.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And I only met her a few hours ago, and she told the most beautiful realization story, and I've already made her tell it twice, and this is the third time. So here she is.
Should we make ourselves disappear and make Jenny bigger, Jean-Michel?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll do that. And I'll just make myself disappear.
So yes, here we have Antonella, and she's going to tell us how she got her realization, the awakening of her Kundalini, which was maybe just over 25 years ago.
Yeah, hello. I'd like to tell the story of my realization, just to share an experience that is the awakening of the spirit. And it can happen anytime to everyone, by chance, we could say, but that actually it is not by chance. And I'm going to tell the story just to share the power of this experience. I'm trying to transmit the power, which I understood only many years later. Anyway, it was one of the worst times of my life. It was many years ago, and I was going through a very painful time as for my feelings and my personal experiences, and I was really in a bad mood and very cynical, very pessimistic about life. And I was traveling on vacation on the train. I had already just started from Vienna, going through the Austrian border to Hungary. And I happened to travel with this yoga group who also had stepped on the train in Vienna station like me. And we met in one of the coaches. And they told me, we do yoga. Would you like to try? And I said, yes, let's try, just to give it a chance. But without hoping anything, because, I was really expecting nothing. And so I did this exercise of the awakening, which you already have done. And then other people came in the coach because they knew that there were two young ladies. I was traveling with my cousin at the time who had just had a realization. So all the yogis wanted to meet these ladies, and there was some curiosity about that. And there were all Austrian people. And one of the most remarkable things was that Shri Mataji herself was traveling with them, because she was going to have a program in Vienna, and the yogis were going to accompany her. And there was an Austrian lady who, we say, work on me. She worked on me, rising my kundalini from behind. And I didn't see her because my eyes were shut, and I had the position of the yogi sitting on my seat. And this lady was doing this to have my kundalini raise up. And I was feeling a strange sensation. I told you that I really didn't believe in anything at that time. But the feeling was so strong, so amazingly strong, that I couldn't but acknowledge the power of this ascent, of this sensation, with this power which was rising up, 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 until the top of my head. And so suddenly, I actually changed state. I assure you, later I understood. Of course, in that moment, I just felt strange, different. Actually, I had become the spirit. It was a powerful feeling. It was not a feeling. It was actually a state. A mixture between sweetness, balance, integrity, and understanding without thinking, just being there. And I assure you, it was so strong, so powerful, that I felt that sensation for the whole day long. I didn't know anything about Saja Yoga. So I was not, say, brainwashed or something. I didn't have any kind of teaching at that time. So it was exactly the experience in my body. And I can assure you, it was like this. So this is what actually Sahaja Yoga is, an experience that you have with all your body, with all your mind, with all your feelings, with everything of yourself, which changes you completely. That's all.
Thank you very much, Antonella. That's a very beautiful explanation. And I think what Antonella said is that it's an experience. We can't rationalize. Our human brain cannot comprehend. And our human brain can also not comprehend the significance of puja, which is what we are talking about tonight. Now, before we start talking, and Jean-Michel, if you don't mind coming back on the screen, I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see where we meditate and Shri Mataji's photo. So this is our meditation room, and this is the altar in our meditation room. And I'm going to ask Jean-Michel if he could explain a little bit about what we're seeing.
All right. I was just before we started the program, I was at our mother. It's like our own mother or grandmother, where we respect her so much that we want to make her bedroom beautiful or her house beautiful. We want her to be happy. It's like a Mother's Day. So the puja is the same. Why we bring flowers? Because it's a Mother's Day. Every day is a Mother's Day. And her feet, it's like when you want to please your mother, especially your grandmother, you massage her feet, you make her feel very comfortable. And because of that, she relaxes and she may fall asleep because she feels completely relaxed. So Shri Mataji's feet that we see on this photograph, they represent her power, because her feet have this connection to the earth when she walks, and it symbolizes her complete connection with this original vibration, original power of creation. So that's the reason why we have a photograph of her feet. Her feet are the power of creation. It's the Mother Earth. It's the pure silence in the creation. It's the purity of the creation. It's like the heart of the lotus. It's the heart of the rose, of the flower. It's pure. It's fragrant. This is what her feet are. And I was blessed to actually meet Shri Mataji many times, several times, but I was blessed to touch her feet with my hands, and I felt, when you touch a baby's skin, you cannot feel, it's very soft, it's very gentle. It felt exactly the same. It felt so soft. And I actually touched her hand also in Spain in 1989, I think it was. And there was a public program I think it was in Barcelona or some place, and Shri Mataji, at the end, it was a public program where she was talking about the self-realization. And at the end of the program, when she was leaving, she took it was in a theater. She was walking in the middle aisle of the theater, and she was giving her hand to everyone to she was touching the hands of everyone on each side when she was walking out. And I just was there. So I took her hand and I felt really this softness. And the next day we had a puja. It was I think it was a Buddha puja. We had a puja with Shri Mataji. And what I felt in my hand, this softness, I felt exactly the same in my heart on the puja day. Just to say that it's all very much linked together. Is so that's the meaning of this altar, is a celebration of our mother, and it all works through our heart. It is not something we can really analyze, because if we look in the media nowadays, people are not talking about this type of things. The attention is somewhere else. But when the attention goes deeper in spirituality, and we understand that this Divine Mother is very important in everyone's balance, everyone's evolution, everyone's psyche, everyone's well-being, it's the Divine Mother is a very important element. And when we discover this in meditation, everything becomes easy. And puja is the same. Puja is the easiest way to deepen our meditation.
Thank you. Thank you, Jean-Michel, for that beautiful explanation. One more thing that I wanted to add. You will see that on Shri Mataji's feet, her feet are decorated with what we call a swastika. And a swastika in its original form is a very ancient symbol, and it represents innocence. And you will see it again and again in many ancient texts, also in some buildings, some holy places. Later on, it was used in a very negative way, and the form was actually flipped. But in its original sense, it is a very auspicious, pure symbol. So Jean-Michel shared a very beautiful experience of when he met Shri Mataji. I have not had as many experiences as Jean-Michel because I came at a much later time. But I do remember seeing Shri Mataji in this room back in 2007. And I remember she looked at me directly. And I knew at that time that when Shri Mataji looks at you, you are never the same again. Something changes within you. You can't put it into words, but you feel it. And this is what we're always coming back to. Now, because many of us who are joining here and who will watch this program, they haven't met Shri Mataji. So what I wanted to do this evening was start with a very short video that contains aspects of puja. In this video, Shri Mataji is being welcomed into a village, and you will see that there is music, light, and flowers being offered to her. So let's just watch this video now. Shri Mataji traveled all over the world her entire life, from 1970 till the end of her life. And when she was welcomed, sometimes her feet would be washed, her hands would be washed and decorated. Sometimes elements such as milk, honey, and sugar were offered, each with their own significance. So even though Shri Mataji is no longer in her human form, we can still offer her puja. Puja is an offering from the heart. As Jean-Michel said, it can't be rationalized. It expresses our own recognition of who Shri Mataji is, and at the same time, it deepens that recognition. Puja can be as simple as offering a flower, or it can be much more elaborate. But the most important thing is, again, that it comes from the heart. So today I'm going to share with you how we do puja here at Burwood Ashram in the morning. We wash Shri Mataji's feet, we perfume them, we decorate them. We offer her flowers, and then we offer her the light element in the form of doing an arti. All of these aspects have a very deep effect on our own chakras. Offering Shri Mataji flowers deepens our connection to the qualities of the Muladhara and the Swadhisthana. Perfuming her feet opens our heart. Offering her light clears our agya. So when you watch this puja, just try to keep your eyes open and try to keep your attention beyond your thoughts. You may have thoughts, but just let them go. So if we can have some music now. When we perform puja, the deities within us are pleased. So now we will meditate on the qualities of each of the deities on each of our chakras. We can start with our left hand on our lap and our right hand on the Mother Earth. We can place our attention on the Muladhara chakra, the lowest chakra, where Shri Ganesha resides. When our connection is strong, we are bestowed with innocence and wisdom. Shri Mataji, please establish the powers of innocence and wisdom within us. Please establish these powers so we can spread them to the whole world. We can now take our right hand and place it underneath our navel on the Swadhisthana chakra, where Sri Brahmadeva and his power Sri Saraswati reside. Shri Mataji, please establish the qualities of pure attention, pure knowledge, and divine creativity within us. Please give us a calm, steady attention so that our attention is always on our spirit. We can now place our hand just above the navel on the Nabhi chakra, where Sri Vishnu and his power Sri Lakshmi reside. Shri Mataji, please establish peace, peace within us. Please connect us to the ocean of peace so that we can spread peace to the whole world. We can now place our hand on our heart chakra at the center of our chest. And here the goddess Sri Jagadamba resides. Sri Jagadamba, who has been protecting us through all our lives. Shri Mataji, please establish the qualities of fearlessness within us. Allow us to feel the divine protection that always surrounds us. We can now place our hand on our throat, on the Vishuddhi chakra, where Sri Krishna and his power Sri Radha reside. Shri Mataji, please give us pure speech. Please give us the courage to always speak the truth, but with humility. We can now place our hand across our forehead, where Jesus Christ and his mother Mary reside. Shri Mataji, please bless us with the quality of forgiveness. Please awaken the power of humility within us so that we can see ourselves as we really are. And we can grow as you want us to grow. We can now place our hand at the top of the head on the Sahasrara, where Shri Mataji resides. Shri Mataji, please establish our connection. Please establish our connection to the divine power. And please bless us with the recognition of the divine in human form. You can take your hand above your head and try to settle your attention where your hand is. When you feel ready, you can take your hand back down into your lap. We're just going to sit in this silent state. And know that when we have no thought, that there is no barrier between us and God. We are one. We are part and parcel of the whole. We're now going to listen to a talk from Shri Mataji, who speaks of puja. Again, it is a very deep talk that cannot be comprehended through the limited capacity of the human brain. But when you listen, subtle changes are made within us that bring us closer to God.
The meaning of puja. There are two aspects. One is the aspect that you have got your own deities within yourself, and these deities are to be awakened within you. Deities are the different aspects of one God. So on one side you have the deities, these the aspects of God which are all the time awakened. On the other side you have your own deities which are sometimes awakened, sometimes half awakened, sometimes sleeping, and sometimes sick. So you have to use two methods. One, to please the deities of God and to ask them to bless your deities, or to ask them to awaken your deities. So by doing the puja means when you offer anything that you have got to offer, anything that you offer is say flowers. If you want to offer flower to God, you don't have to speak anything. You have to just offer that this is for you. Anybody can understand offering is for that. You don't have to have even a tongue. Even if a blind man is there, if he wants to give you something, he can just give you like this. And that expression is sufficient for anybody to be convinced that it's an offering. You don't have to say anything about it. So now when you offer a flower to God, even if you don't say a mantra, it is offered, alright, it's given. But whether it is accepted or not is a problem. But now when you are a realized soul and you offer anything, it is acceptable to God even if you don't say anything. But what about you getting any reward out of it? After realization, when you offer anything to God, He accepts. Because it's coming from a realized soul, so He accepts. Now, how do we get blessed by Him? By giving a flower to God. Now, if you don't say anything about it, you just offer the flower, then you might be rewarded with many flowers automatically in life. Or you may be, whatever material things you offer, you may be blessed materially. Then in a subtler way, if you say something, as you say for offering somebody, that humble way of saying that I'll be happy if you would accept this, will be even subtler results of that maybe, which would be much wider, maybe much deeper. Now you do something symbolic, which is the essence, the principle of something. Like flowers are it represents the principle of the Mother Earth. Now, so the symbolicism of all the things that we can offer to God has been meditated upon and has been found out. So they use 5 things called as Panchamrita. Because if you have hit the principle, then you have really hit the whole, isn't it? Because spiritual well-being is a total well-being. It's not just partly that your material well-being or your physical well-being or your emotional well-being or your mental well-being. It's a total one, completely balanced into totality. Now when you offer these other things like the why these we call them akshatas, these with the uh, this what do you call yellow thing? Huh? Turmeric rice. See this yellow thing. You see, when you offer this, you know the yellow color is that of the Swadhisthana chakra, and rice is very dear to all the gods. Now there's a trick in it because it's a human trick. Gods are fond of rice, so they put turmeric on it. Means that we offer to you a rice which is yellow colored, means you should give us blessings of our creativity. When you eat it, more creativity will flow and we'll be blessed by that creativity. It's a trick. The whole thing of puja is the trick of human saints. You see, how to trick God to give more blessings. But whatever God likes has to be auspicious and holy. So ultimately it works out for the holiness of saints and their simple hearts. Now the puja cannot be done by a person who is not a realized soul. A person who preaches also has to be a realized soul. The one who does namaz has to be a realized soul. The one who prays has to be a realized soul. So all the utensils that are used are to be worshipped in a way that they are to be holy things. They are to be respected things. You cannot use anything save the one you are using in the bathroom and use the same thing for the puja. It's absurd. Three things are very important. Is a ghata, this one is the vessel. Vessel that contains the kundalini, the vessel that contains the primordial desire within us to get to God is first to be worshipped, our desire. Is the ghata, is the one made here. And on top is called as a Shri Phala. Shri Phala means this also has got water in it, if you see. This coconut has, this represents, the coconut represents the same thing. Now in the subtler form, it is the water of all the rivers of the world, rivers. And the coconut is the water of all the oceans. The water from the ocean or sea rises through the tree trunk of the coconut and becomes sweet water in the coconut. It's a symbolic thing. So this is the vessel called Ghata Puja. This is the Ghata Puja. Now I don't want to go to details today because we have to talk about Ganesha. The same is, now that is water, alright. Then we have to worship Ghanta and Shankha. These are two representing the sound. Actually the Shankha represents the ether. Then we have the Deepa, this one. It's the light, represents the light element called as Tejas. Normally also to the goddess they also give her a fan which represents the air element. So this is how all the five elements are pleased beforehand using them. So the essences of these, or the causal essences of these five elements should be pleased at this time. Now there are also all kinds of other things like your family deities you might be worshipping in your family, some deities, they should not be also at this time upsetting the puja, or maybe the forefathers who are dead. All these things are to be quietened so that they should be told that this is a puja like this and you do not disturb us at this time. Means even thoughts should not come, their thoughts or their any disturbances. So everything is to be first made into peace. Now this is the one aspect I have told you in short, because it's a very long thing. If I have to speak about it, I'll have to speak at least 3 times and in 3 hours each time. Still it may not be finished. Now we come to the second aspect, which question I asked you, how do you get benefited by it? So apart from this technique, to have the best effect or the blessings or the best flow of the grace within us, we say mantras. The sound of mantras resound, echo into the being of God, and they are re-echoed on our chakras, and then the chakras start opening more. So the flow of the grace of God is received. But only a realized soul should chant a mantra, because without connection, how will it reach God? It is a vicious circle. Now, one may say that, Mother, you cannot get realization unless and until you get the grace of God. And the chakras won't open by a person who is not a realized soul. Without opening the chakras, you cannot get realization. That's how the play of the Mother comes here. And of all the saints, like you. I would say the Sahajogis have to break this vicious circle. You have to raise the Kundalini yourself. Once you raise the Kundalini opens the chakras a little bit, because you have given your vibrations to the chakras. So once she knows there is a Sahajogi standing behind the seeker, she rises. She knows you are her brothers and sisters, and that you belong to the same family as she does. She knows the land where she has to grow, so she can feel that, and then she rises in her dignity. That's how she breaks this vicious circle. That's why in the beginning we don't tell them about the mantras. Because in the mantras you have to accept me as the deity. In this advent of mind, it is made compulsory that you have to recognize me. Because this is very precarious, the resurrection time we can call it, or the time of your last judgment. First the realization has to be given without any recognition, but not to those who are denying or insulting me. Under any circumstances they cannot get realization, whatever you may try. Even after realization, if people start thinking against me, vibrations will stop because of samsara. And the heart has to be completely in unison with me. Otherwise, samsara is closed. Now those people who are simple, who are full of open hearts, you see, such people understand me very well, and they just put me in their hearts. After realization, after going through the understanding of Sahajoga through their mental activity, also the intellectuals understand me and recognize me in a little circle. After the puja, when they receive the blessings in a very blissful state they achieve, then they realize the value of puja also afterwards. Now in India, where the puja system has been traditionally coming and has been maintained quite a lot, they understand it without any mental processes. But when they meet somebody, an intellectual who has become a Sahajogi, you see, they can't understand them. They don't want to listen about it, the whole rigmarole of the whole movement of the brain. And some of them who try, you see, little westernized, they try, you see, they develop an inferiority complex and they go to the left side. But there is no need to understand it with mental, to all the time analyze it through your mental process and then to understand everything and then become Sahajogis with the heart open. It's rather very circuitous. But what to do? They have gone that way, so they have to come that way. Because even if they become Sahajogis, they start questioning and thinking about it and worrying about it. So the false people just mesmerize them and take advantage of that mesmerism. So one should not feel bad. If you feel like analyzing, you should go ahead with it, because I cannot stop your speed. I am not going to mesmerize. In Sahaja Yoga, the freedom is to be respected. But we do not allow people to come for puja who have not achieved a certain amount of understanding mentally of Sahaja Yoga from the Western people, not in India. But here there is a restriction. Because supposing in India, I do not explain to them, they don't want to know. They know that they'll get vibrations. They already know about vibrations, so I don't have to tell them you will get more vibrations. If they get more vibrations, they know I am the Shakti, that's all. I don't have to explain. Like as you can make out which is the best wine, they can make out who is the real person. They know the taste of it. Now once in a puja, I had about 6,000 people had touched my feet. So I said in a puja, now please don't have people need not touch my feet. I said it. But they thought it was Dhumal who suggested, so they all got after his life. They said, you only want to take all the blessings from others' feet and you didn't want us to take it, and they got out. Another thing is, you see, in the West, I never used to make the Panchamrita with my feet but with my hands, because here people would think that that's a dirty thing feet is and we should not have of the feet, you see. But actually the feet are very powerful and they can never be dirty. Like the river Ganges has vibrations. And if you have the water of Ganges, you will see that it will never be dirtied. On the contrary, whatever are inside that, because it's never sort of very kept clean, whatever dirt has gone into it, it settles down and doesn't dirty the thing at all. It's very clean water, all the time vibrating. So one must understand whatever is pure, which is responsible for purity, which is the source of purity, can cleanse any impurity. So how it can be impure? But with the brain, if you think it, it's so limited. You cannot think of something which is just the embodiment of purity. This is the point we have come now, where I think I should talk about the absolute. That is Sri Ganesh.
Yes, Sri Ganesha.
We can finish off now by placing our hand on our heart. Seat of our spirit. We can also place our attention on our heart, because our heart doesn't think. It is above thought. And we will finish with Shri Mataji's words on Puja. In Puja, all your chakras will be awakened. It's a very deep experience. So come with an open mind. Keep yourself open with a receptive mind. When you are doing puja, receive it also. Be in thoughtless awareness when you are doing puja, completely concentrated and receiving. You have to receive it. And it is a melody individually suitable for every individual. And when you receive it, it triggers in you that state of infinity. You must know that all your attention should be on reception. We'll now stay in that meditative state and listen to some music that works directly on our Sahasrara. We can finish now by raising our Kundalini and putting on a bandhan, but keeping full attention on who we are, the divinity within us, and the divinity that surrounds us.
Thanks, Jenny. Fabulous.
Thank you.
Great meditation, everyone. So many strong yogis here tonight. So if anyone has any experience they want to share or any questions, feel free. I can give you the power to unmute and on video. You've got the power now. Everyone has it. Many powers. I was telling Jenny and Jean-Michel earlier, the first time, we were talking about the first time we've been to Puja with Shri Mataji, and it was in a very big crowd of people, and it was a tour of an Indian tour, and it was the first moment, the first stop at in Bombay. It was a big puja, and far in the distance I could see Shri Mataji in a very pale blue sari, looking lovely. And towards at the end of the puja, everyone had a flower they were going to offer. So it was a very long queue, and finally we got to the front, and there's a huge pile of flowers in front of Shri Mataji at her feet, and just you catch a glimpse, and she looks. Of course, everyone had this same feeling that she'd looked straight at you and given a little smile that just sort of melts your heart. Amazing. That was all that happened, but it was a wonderful feeling.
I remember in Italy in '89, Diwali Puja. So every time Shri Mataji was coming to Europe, she was asking all the Sahajogis to meet her at Diwali Puja. And it was like she was connecting with us individually at that time. And we all had the opportunity to come and so there was a puja, Diwali Puja, and we had the opportunity to offer a gift or a flower to Shri Mataji at the end of the puja. And it was, every time was like a personal meeting with Shri Mataji, just for a few seconds. It was not very long. but it was really beautiful. She was actually she was making sure that Sahaja Yoga was growing and being established. So she knew everyone. She knew everyone in the collective. And on another puja, I came to offer a gift to Shri Mataji, and she said to me, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Montpellier, Shri Mataji." Montpellier is a small town in south of France. And she said to me, "Oh, I've been there." And I didn't know because in my lifetime, no one told me Shri Mataji came to Montpellier. So I said to Shri Mataji, "No, I don't think so." and she said,
Classic.
she said, "Yes, I came." So then I didn't think about it. But later on, like a few months later, it came to my attention that Shri Mataji had visited Montpellier before Sahaja Yoga started.
Yeah.
She would have visited all the places, and she knew exactly what was going to happen. It was very interesting. Yeah.
And often there'd be a queue of people offering flowers, and then the queue thins out and everyone's offered, and there's no more people in the queue, and the Shri Mataji will say, "I think there's somebody else."
Yes, that's right.
Somebody else, and then suddenly somebody else will appear. You know, they were feeling shy and sitting back. And
Yes.
sure, there's somebody else. She wants to make sure everybody gets that blessing.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's a very special session, being able to be here with you all. So,
I hear somebody.
yes, Sarita, we are also learning more and more. We never stop learning in Sahaja Yoga.
That is true.
But to be honest, when I started doing meditation with Saj, I didn't know anything about religion much, because at the church when I was a kid, I never felt anything special, so I was not interested. And because Sahaja Yoga is linked to the chakras and the Hindu religion in some way, I started studying Hinduism. I bought books. I was reading all through. I was, Bhagavad Gita. I was trying to read the scriptures and understand what is it about deities and everything. And then Shri Mataji has given so many talks about every chakra. So at that time, we had one magazine coming from India called Nirmala Yoga.
Yes.
And that was amazing, because it had the knowledge we all wanted to know about everything.
Transcripts, fantastic.
It was an amazing magazine, because it was actually having talks translated from Hindi that are not even in text.
Yeah.
So it was really important that someone was able to do this. But so for many years, I studied and I listened to lots of talks, and I tried to understand everything. And I realized after a while that this knowledge is actually, now it is within me. And to be honest, I don't need to read it much anymore. I don't need to. I listen to Shri Mataji, but I don't need to look for all this, because I have done it before, and also the knowledge is now not going through my mind. It's really, when we meditate together like this, I feel the knowledge is there. If I need to express or explain something or share something, it just comes to me. I don't need to read about it.
Yes, we gain the knowledge through meditation, don't we?
Mm.
In a very subtle.
It's actually easier and it's more relaxing.
That's true.
Because to read books, we've done. I remember when we did the radio programs, I was interested in doing lots of different topics. So we had a topic about Jesus Christ, the Gnostics, the early Christians. So I studied all of this. I read maybe 5 or 6 books to understand what was happening at that time. And we did a program about this. Then we did a program about the Guru Tattva, the Guru principle, the Adi Gurus. And so we researched, where did they live? How did they express their knowledge? And it was so fascinating. But now it's actually hard work to do, because you got to research, you got to really understand everything. But now I feel it's much simpler.
Yeah. It's quite good to have that Every Day with Shri Mataji app that you can just, for your meditation, say in the morning, you can just play whatever talk has been on that day throughout the years. You can just play it, and there's always something good. You can hear the same talk of Shri Mataji even, and you just get a little gem that sends you on your way for the day.
Yeah,
so highly
definitely.
recommend downloading that app from the App Store. Every Day with Shri Mataji, and you just, yeah.
So what's the name of the app?
Every Day with Shri Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's really good.
All right. Thank you again.
Yes.
I need to sign off now.
Parting is sweet sorrow, but we must do it.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Antonella.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night. Jai Shri Mataji.
So, good night.
Good night.